Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. Texas fans, we haven't forgot about our own news. Tran and I are here to cover the official announcement of Mike Yurcich as the offensive coordinator and QB coach for the University of Texas. About to break it all down. I haven't spoken with Tran since I made the initial video regarding my personal thoughts on if, when it was reported that he was expected to be named. But first, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Boss's Ranch. Guys, go check them out at your local HEB. Those of you in Central Texas, we've been killing it here. Bottles flying off the shelves. It's Red River Ranch flavor especially. Everything's getting restocked. Check them out, HEB. Cold produce. Some of you guys have been hitting me up while you're at HEB. Remember, it's in the produce section, not in the condiments aisle with all the other, ones that have all those preservatives loaded in there. This is a fresh product, so you got to get it from the produce section, all right? So men, women, those of you out there purchasing the product, we appreciate it. And thank you for continuing to support Boss's Ranch, HEB Cold Produce. Tran, they've heard me talk, and the link will be below my initial video about Yurcich because we covered a lot of stuff and went into depth. What are your thoughts now that it's official? Are you excited about this hire?
I'm extremely excited about this hire. If he's half as good as this Boss's Ranch, we're winning a national championship next year. No, but seriously, I things that he's done in his past, I really love how he does utilize the spread concept, but he also is a power run team. He comes from the Gundy system, and Gundy is he used to hand off probably to the best running back of all time. So he definitely wants to establish the run, and he's continued that. And what he's done with Ohio State with I would call him I know he had 1 year of college preparation, but he didn't play at all. He didn't get any time during the games.
Yeah, but Justin Fields was a Heisman finalist.
Yes, he was a Heisman finalist.
And before the Clemson game, 40-1 touchdown to interception ratio, and they had one of the most efficient pass games because obviously he wasn't he didn't have full OC rights there. Ryan Day still is heavily involved in the play calling, and he was the passing game coordinator, but his influence alone, because he's a quarterback guy and how he develops guys, and touching on Justin Fields.
Yeah, and he goes off of the read option as well for that. I mean, he if you noticed from the national championship game, Dobbins' explosive run was the read option. That's
the semifinal.
Yeah, in the semifinal. And I think one of our strongest position groups is going to be our running back. Our running back team next year, so it's gonna situate our strong suits. Depending on who we hire for the other four offensive coaching positions, we could have a powerhouse again on our team, even with losing a Devin Duvernay or even with losing a Colin Johnson. Our offensive line is still there. I think we still keep Herb Hand. I don't know your thought process on that.
I predict us to at least keep Herb Hand and Stan Drayton on board, hopefully. And I think, especially with us keeping a very similar type of offense, I think they'll mesh well together with what they want to do. We'll see how things play out. I believe Herb Hand is co-OC for the Alamo Bowl tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But going back to an earlier thing you brought up, there was another bit of news from Tom Herman that you just mentioned.
Oh, the 5-5.
We're going 5-5 with our staff.
Sorry,
something I've been
ruin that for you, but sorry.
No, I'm glad you said it because it's something I've been begging for on this channel. We had the 7-3 split last year, or 6-4, however you want to do it, because you had Jason Washington, Naivar, Oscar Giles, and Todd Orlando. Mm. So at least having a little bit more balance with our staff will be very beneficial, and it shows that you're taking the defensive side of the ball seriously. And hopefully one of those, especially on the defensive side of the ball, I know we're varying a little bit, but hopefully one of those is a very strong special teams coach. Because all these coaches in college are going to be responsible for a position group, and then somebody is going to be in charge. Sometimes offense, sometimes defense. I think it was Coach Wareheim right now that was in charge of special teams, and it's been awful. Mm-hmm. So we can get somebody in here offensively or defensively, and we'll talk about some of the names we've heard thrown around, at least to partner with Mike Yurcich and shaping this offense. I talked before about we finished statistically top 15. I think we were number 15. And Sam Ehlinger improved. The news, before about Sam Ehlinger going out to the NFL and seeking the draft grade from the advisory board and you can chime in there.
I think any starting junior should do that.
I agree.
I think anyone should do it. It's a
especially if you have NFL aspirations.
It doesn't affect your tenure or anything like that. Your eligibility. So I mean, if it's there for you, go ahead and do it. He did have a rock star season. I mean, it's a loaded
statistically.
Yeah, statistically,
he had a dip, but he improved from sophomore year.
Yeah, and but it's just such a deep. The quarterbacks all across the nation are fantastic. I mean, right now, there's Fields, if you look at the draft, so just the draft alone, assuming Tua declares, you're going to have Joe Burrow, Tua, the Jacob Eason already declared. I think Justin Herbert will declare if he hasn't already. Yeah. You're going to have Jordan Love. I don't think you can declare until after the game.
Well, you can announce. Yeah. But I know what you mean. But like Jordan Love from Utah State, who the scouts are high on, and there's some other names I'm forgetting right now. So Sam would be below those guys. I mean, just objectively speaking right now. Not to say that he won't have a successful NFL career or can't play at the NFL level. But right now, I think he needs to add to his body of work. Now, Tom Herman at the Alamo Bowl presser today said that Sam has already received his grade. If he wants to share at some point, he can. Most players have, at least here at Texas in the past. But it seems likely that Sam Ehlinger will return. I do like Sam's confidence, though, because I think it's twofold. I like the confidence of him coming out saying, I want to play at the next level, and I believe I can play at the next level now. I do. Whether it's true or not, I like my quarterback thinking like that. The second thing is, I think folks, especially as the fan base, has discounted the relationship that he had with Tim Beck. And it seems like Tim Beck will be moving on. And that will be a hit for Texas. This quarterback room that we will have next year in 2021 is because of Tim Beck. Bijan Robinson is big. Tim Beck was a big part of that recruitment, and he's been one of our rock star.
Good thing about
recruiters
is that Yurcich also recruited him as well at Ohio State, and I think Ohio State was one of his top 5.
Absolutely, he was at one point committed to Ohio State. So the relationship, and that, I think we have to again give credit to Tom Herman for. It's complicated, right? And as frustrated as I personally got with the Graham Harrell stuff and just how the process was playing out, once we really identify what Tom Herman wants, I think he did a good job of strategically understanding, like, hey, I'm going to lock this class in place, but I'm also going to go out here. And look, Ohio State, they wanted to keep him. Ryan Day wanted to keep Mike Yurcich badly. And Tom Herman that's a win for Tom Herman over Ohio State, which is much needed and something that can even play into recruiting at some point to keep some of the talent here and even win some battles nationally when you're able to pluck a playoff OC from somebody else.
But he also understands the Big 12 too.
Then that's the beauty of it.
And that's exactly great about it. I mean, he understands the different teams. He's played multiple times against. I
think he was 5-1 against Texas.
Yeah, and I mean, and he beat us with a 86-year-old Taylor Cornelius too.
Is Taylor Cornelius? Is he getting AARP now, or what's this?
I think he is.
Okay.
I think he's getting the discounts of the matinees, movie theaters. I think we're straight.
Right. But you
did run on us, Taylor Cornelius. So you always have that over us.
But even look at Taylor Cornelius, right? Taylor Cornelius, who even has an old name.
He does.
But he did it with different quarterbacks. Because Mason Rudolph and Taylor Cornelius aren't the most fleet of foot, right?
Nope.
But Clint Shelf could move. JT Walsh could move.
Is that the guy from
JT
Denton?
Walsh was the kid from Denton.
Yeah.
He could really move.
Yeah.
And then you also had Justin Fields, who was a dual threat.
Didn't he also recruit Spencer Sanders?
He probably recruited him, but he was probably gone. I mean, I don't know if he was. I don't know if he was involved in that recruitment or not. But he didn't coach Spencer Sanders because he redshirted.
I know he recruited Hudson Card.
He did recruit Hudson Card. That is true.
Yeah.
But overall, like, you know, when you look at the different types of quarterbacks, he always molds the offense around their skill sets and their strengths. And that's something we've been lacking here at Texas. And this is before the Tom Herman regime, by the way. I'm not just putting this on Tom Herman and their group, but we've always been a victim to a system and trying to do the round peg in a square hole type of thing. Or I probably screwed that up. But now you're actually going to get a coach and somebody in here that I think Texas fans as a whole are confident, like schematically coming into a game, that we're actually going to be able to get our guys in a position to make plays and for them to play fast and play with a lot of confidence. And if stuff goes awry in the middle of a game, we can now adjust on the fly. We have somebody that can work in tandem with Tom Herman, so Tom Herman's not fixated with all these other things going on. He can still handle his head coaching responsibilities.
So that's because that's one of the things that he stated, and I don't think you touched on it in your last video. He stated that he would love to actually focus on head coaching responsibilities as opposed to, he says that's when he's actually valuable, as opposed to have to worry about wearing so many hats.
Yeah.
Do you think he's being serious with this, knowing that he's on the hot seat? If he doesn't make the Big 12 championship, most likely it might be his job.
Well, I don't know if that's a whole other thing in terms of the hot seat talk. But I do think he understands there's pressure on him. And with that being said, I think he knows or he feels within himself I think there's some truth to that, but I also feel as though he's like, dude, I got to where I am because I was regarded as an offensive genius. I was like the Mike Yurcich at one point myself, right? And I have a national championship ring with my third string quarterback to prove that. So there's still value I can add, but it has to be in a different type of way. Maybe that value is going to come more Sunday to Friday. And then game days, having that patience and discipline as a head coach to say, hey, on Saturday, Mike's going to be our voice with this offense. I'll chime in. I'll manage the game. But Mike's going to be the one leading this. Now, I may chime in on insights because I feel as though I am a brilliant offensive mind. But I'm not using mental energy and focus on trying to figure out what I'm going to do on 3rd and 8 and not looking at, the context of the game or game flow and things we've struggled with. Maybe he can now have a conversation with his special teams coordinator about what he wants to do coming up because he's like, Mike got that over there. And I think we all feel comfortable now as fans, especially seeing what he did at Oklahoma State. And one of the other things I talked about was Mike Yurcich has worked with nothing but play callers at the D1 level. Ryan Day was a play caller who was a strong personality. Mike Gundy, former offensive coordinator, strong personality. Yep. So it's he's used to working with these type of men. So I think it's going to be it's a really good fit for Texas on paper. Now we got to see how it plays out, and you can't grade anything until football is actually played. But I think this is such a beneficial move for all the guys who we've always wondered, like, man, are we ever going to see our guys utilize the way LSU started to utilize their athletes, or Oklahoma State? We talk about Oklahoma State all the time, how proficient they've been offensively, but it's like they don't recruit at the highest level. Now we're going to see those 4- and 5-star athletes, the Jordan Whittingtons, the Brennan Eagles, the Jake Smiths, the Bijan Robinsons, the Keontae Ingrams, the Roshan Johnsons, and this
put in a successful position.
Right.
So speaking of that, what position group do you think will benefit the best from this offense change?
The outside wide receivers.
I 100% agree with that.
They'll find, because we haven't missed with the inside group. Even 2017, the Reggie Hemphill maps and the transition to Little Jordan Humphrey. Then 2018, Little Jordan Humphrey was dominant. Mm-hmm. This past season, Devin Duvernay was dominant. Coming up, looks like Joshua Moore might be coming back. Mm-hmm. You'll have a Jake Smith. You might even have a Jordan Whittington in play. There's a lot of weapons you can use in that slot role. But it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be the one where it's like feature. I think it's going to be a lot of moving parts. I think we even may have opportunity for a flex tight end type of position for a Malcolm Epps in this offense, where he's being asked to do some of the things that we saw a Jermichael Finley do 10, 15 years ago. So I just think there's going to be a lot more versatility, guys moving around. Like one of the things you saw in the OU game, CeeDee Lamb was lined up a lot with, they try to match him up with Kerry Vincent Jr., getting him away from Stingley, getting him away from Christian Fulton, and lining him up all over. I think it's going to be one of those things where you may see one week Brennan Eagles line up in the slot a bunch. They're just going to play. It's more of a matchup-based type of thing, and I'm excited about that.
Will definitely benefit from this coaching change. I think I think you'll start seeing him turn into baby Dez, like you said.
And Dez Bryant was featured in. Now, granted, this was before before. But the point being is, the guys like that. I'm excited for the off-season work because these guys, there's a new opportunity for all these guys. Marcus Washington, Alvonte Woodard, all you brothers that have been lacking footballs on the outside. A new day is here for the University of Texas, and I couldn't be more excited for them.
Yeah, my best friend would be Sam in the off season. Hey man, you want to hang out?
Absolutely. And look, and I appreciate everybody that's been hitting me up on Twitter and progressing the conversation. I don't understand why everyone's so excited to move on from Sam. I'm personally excited. And look, again, I brought up the Sam-Tim Beck relationship. Sam's hurt right now. There's no way around it. You can tell in how he's talking and some of the things he's saying. He's definitely hurt. And part of him is the competitor that he is, and knowing Sam Ehlinger, he may feel that he lets Tim Beck down a little bit, right? He's been with him. That's all he's known at Texas. Mm-hmm. And then you have this guy, this Midwestern cat coming in.
With his accent. He's got a 5-star accent on him.
Who's got this crazy accent, and he's very, very different personality-wise from Tim Beck. Very, very different, right? So Tim Beck's more laid back. And
I think his personality will bring out the personality that Bam Bam Sam had. You remember when
sophomore?
You remember how I've said about this, that he just had this swagger about him where he's dancing, and he just seems like he lost his puppy on the sideline now. You don't see him dancing or joking around with it. It took a blowout that I forgot who they were beating, but they were beating someone pretty bad, and it was a mess up between him and Ingram. And they both started. That was the first time I saw him smile in the longest time. So this personality, this new coaching change actually might bring out the best in Sam, to tell you the truth.
I agree, and I think it will help if he's able to put up real numbers, like some of the numbers we saw Mason Rudolph and some of these other guys put up in that offense. That will help his NFL chances. Because he's shown one of the things, and that's why I'm excited about senior year at Sam Ehlinger, his work ethic. He's improved as a passer every offseason. Yes, he's never going to be that Joe Burrow dropping dimes all over the place. That's not realistic. But the production we've seen every year in college football from a elite senior quarterback, it is Texas has to capitalize on that next year, and that's where a lot of pressure is going to be on Tom Herman because this running, and because they are going to be more balanced too. And now I got a run game to support my senior quarterback. Yeah, he'll be breaking in some wide receivers, but everybody that's playing wide receiver next year, it's not like they haven't been playing at all, right? Like, even though you're losing a Devin Duvernay, and gone should be the days that it takes you 4 freaking years to figure out that you probably should get the ball to Devin Duvernay. It shouldn't. That's what's been the issue at Texas, right? And it shouldn't take you 4 years to realize this guy is one of the
special
players in the country at his position, and we don't even use him. We don't even give him a chance. Those days should be gone, hopefully, with these changes. Now, am I saying we're going to go out and win the Big 12 next year? I'm not saying any of that, but that should be the goal. We just made a video talking about OU getting shellacked in the Peach Bowl by LSU, but damn it, they've won 5 straight Big 12 championships, and some of that embarrassment is on our hands.
Yep. Because
we've allowed them to keep going there, right? Nobody, and us and the rest of the conference. Now OU's to blame as well, but what I'm saying is, with all these recruiting classes and the talent and the coaching changes, we don't have any championships to show for from a conference perspective. And hopefully Mike Yurcich, coming from a playoff situation in Ohio State, like you said, being a former offensive coordinator in the Big 12 and somebody who is very well respected in terms of quarterback development and having a balanced scheme, is somebody that can benefit us. So, guys, I'm excited to see what your thoughts are on this hire. If there's any other names you're excited about for the staff, I didn't get into too much into Tyron Carrier, who was a Houston Cougars legend and was actually the wide receiver coach for Dana Holgorsen. Before he brought him to Houston, he was actually a wide receiver coach for that awesome group that was there.
That torched us.
Sills and Jennings and all those guys. So that's a name we've heard thrown out there for a wide receiver coach position. We've also heard about Andre Coleman, who's currently there now, filling in an interim role. Could that be somebody that gets promoted on the staff? We'll see what Tom Herman decides to do. But as announcements gets made to fill out the whole staff going into the offseason, we'll be here with coverage and our thoughts. So excited to hear from everyone. And it's an exciting day. I think everybody's really on board with this move, and I'm proud of Tom Herman for, it was a windy road, but he navigated us home to I think a really good hire.
I do too.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you joining me for the extravaganza tonight as we posted all these videos, but it's been fun, and I had to chime in on my horns. Can't wait to see you in the comments. Make sure you buy your bottle at Boss's Ranch, and guys, horns always up.